If you're new here, my name is Avery. I'm 24 years old and I make videos all about personal finance and budgeting. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to subscribe and stick around. So in today's video, it's going to be my November reset and budget with me. I don't know if anyone has watched videos by more I'd say lifestyle vloggers on YouTube, such as Carter Sullivan and Zoe Pritchard, but they like to do a November a monthly reset video, and I've do like to watch a lot of those, so I thought I would incorporate some aspects into my own budget with me video, just not quite as in depth. So since I last made a video, I had a pretty negative outlook on everything, and thank you all for your sweet comments on that video. I am pretty excited, I guess, to say that I do feel a lot better now. A lot of things have happened since then that make me just feel a bit more optimistic and positive about things. So I thought I would just give a few brief updates on that. So an update on my mom, she does seem to be doing better. She is out of the ICU and she's on some new meds. She's still having some heart issues, but she's supposed to get a referral to a new hospital/doctor to hopefully get some more answers. I'll just keep it basically to that because I'm not trying to give all my mom's medical history on the internet. So I am glad that she's doing better. It was a very stressful time. It's still a bit uneasy, but it seems like her new medication adjustments are really helping her just to stay more stable in general and not have to keep going in and out of the hospital or in and out of the ICU. As far as my personal updates for my own health, I'm also doing a bit better, I would say. I'm doing better mentally, physically. I do have some physical things going on, but ultimately I'm going to the doctor and I'm trying to be more proactive on taking care of those. So that is a good thing. I have a primary care doctor now, so that's also quite nice to have. So overall, my health anxiety is getting lower. I still feel pretty anxious, but I'm just trying to work through that as life comes at me, As far as my career, I think I mentioned in my last video, I went to a conference in Detroit, and I had the conference since the video, and that was really nice. And honestly, it helped kind of rejuvenate or just re-energize my interest in my career and job in general. My job is still kind of stressful lately because I'm just juggling a lot of work and responsibilities in my office, but overall it's going well. I feel like there's this thing about work where it's the more you're able to do and the more you're involved with in your office or department, the more meetings you end up in, which ironically makes you have less time to actually do all the work that you're involved in. So I have been in a lot of meetings lately, but that just is what it is, I guess, right now. So as far as everything else for work, I may or may not be getting a promotion soon. I mentioned in my last video I didn't get the job that I ended up applying for. Since then, they've reposted one of the positions, a different position, as more of a trainer position. And me and my manager have been talking about that and whether or not that would be a good fit for me. So I've pretty much gotten encouragement from my manager, her manager, and then her manager's manager to pursue this job opportunity and just growth opportunity in the office. So we'll see if anything happens with that in the month of November. If I were to get a promotion like this, I would obviously have more responsibilities, but I would also have more pay. It'd be about a 20% pay increase from my salary. I currently make a little over $41,000, and this would take me almost to $50,000. So that would definitely be a significant increase in my finances, and it would be very exciting, to be honest. And I would also get paid monthly and on a salary. So I'm currently hourly and I'm eligible for overtime. So if I got a promotion, I would not have that eligibility, but that's okay. My office isn't really the kind of office that makes salary employees work way over 40 hours a week or even more than 40 hours a week in general. So I'm not too worried about that. So if anything, I'd probably work hour-wise a little less because I'm not taking advantage of overtime opportunities, if that makes sense. For professional development, I signed up for a public speaking class in January. That's when it starts. I'm still considering if I want to do that class or if maybe I want to pursue a different way of getting better with public speaking. such as like, I know there's options on like LinkedIn Learning, and there's probably something on like Skillshare too that I could do to like help increase my public speaking capabilities. But ultimately, I feel like kind of like a formal class would make a lot more sense in that regard, because I would literally have to just stand up in front of people and do like public speaking. As far as like my job, we're going into open enrollment. We're going into open enrollment time for next year, and they did actually announce what they're calling a lifestyle spending account. So they're going to be, I just thought I'd mention this because I'm kind of excited about it, to be honest. It's going to be $500 a year or $125 a quarter. And I can basically just get reimbursement on things that I already do anyways, such as my spin classes, or just like new hobbies, gardening, stuff for mindfulness, massages, a lot of different options. So I am kind of looking forward to that. Like worst case scenario, or not worst case scenario. In my head, I'm kind of thinking if I use it towards my spin classes, it's like I almost get a free month every quarter on that, which really helps drive down the cost of that for me. And then going back, I also mentioned going back to my hometown this month for a fall festival and working at the bakery. That was also went really well, and that was a big week for the bakery. I also got my bonus pay, which we can see here in the budget. And I do get a bonus around this time because it's the biggest week of the year, so that's where I got that money from. And then going to talk a little more about budgeting, I do have a higher amount here to budget than normal. I typically budget by paycheck, and I get paid bi-weekly currently. So what that means is like I budget each paycheck as the money comes in. However, I've been a bit behind on budgeting, so I'm actually budgeting my last paycheck and then the paycheck I am receiving this week. And then I also am budgeting the money I received from the bakery as a bonus. So that's why it's a lot higher than usual. Going into the month of November, as far as like a November reset, a lot of these videos, they tend to focus on like what their goals are for that month and what they're trying to focus on. I do have a goal word for the month of November. It's going to be balance, which I feel like I make my word like every single month, year, week. I'm like, I just need to find the right kind of balance, but I am going to do it again. And what that looks like for me is what I want to do at least is to go to at least 8 spin classes a month. So that would be at least 2 a week. I don't want to overdo it. I feel like sometimes I push myself a little too hard at the classes. You can kind of get more of like an adrenaline and a rush when you go to a spin class, but ultimately like my body is just not built like it used to be, so I can get into a lot of pain the next day if I'm not like properly cooling down or if I'm going too hard. So I just want to be mindful and cognizant of that. I also want to try and get more into Pilates. These are just classes I like to do on YouTube. I actually like watching Margaret Elizabeth's videos, I believe is her name. She's a Pilates instructor here on YouTube, and she makes a lot of nice videos for Pilates that are on they're shorter, I guess, like they're 20 to 40 minutes, and there's just something nice that you can incorporate into your exercise and fitness regime. So I want to get more consistent on that. For reading, I want to read at least 4 books this month, and I want to make sure that I'm actually being intentional about getting reading into my daily routine, or at least my weekly routine. I also want 3 of those books to be books that I own. So I've been buying a lot of books. I kind of have a problem, to be honest. And I just need to make sure I'm reading books at the rate that I'm buying them. So I want to make sure that I am not just buying new books and forgetting about old ones, or checking out new books from the library and not reading the old ones. So at least 3 of those 4 books should be books that I own. I do want to get into 30-minute walks. I was really good at walking every single day and trying to reach 10,000 steps. I don't really want to put too much pressure on myself. So I think the current focus is I just want to make sure I'm getting in a 30-minute walk every day, or even just 20 to 30 minutes. That's an intentional walk. Obviously when I'm just going about my day, I do walk around, but if I can do at least 30 minutes, I will be happy with myself. I'm not trying to beat myself up if I can't do more, or if everything's very stressful. And then Going on from that, I want to start utilizing Todoist again. If you've heard of Todoist, it's like a to-do list budget, or not budgeting. It's a to-do list app that helps you just organize like projects and goals and what you have to do on a day-to-day basis. I was finding that I was struggling with like writing things down in different places and losing track of things I needed to do and not having all of my like work assignments, personal things, appointments all in the same place. So I am using Todoist again. I started using it last year, and I fell off for a while. I'm using it again, and honestly, I'm really liking it. And I really liked it the first time. I just struggle with consistency sometimes. So I'm trying to get back more into it and honestly just use it a lot more. Like you have the options to, on that app, to use just like write down and like idea dump all of your things. So that's actually helpful for me with YouTube because sometimes I want to say things and I always forget what I want to say in my videos. Yes. And then finally, I just want to curb my food spending. I need to be more intentional about my food spending. I'm kind of wondering if I should change my food spending, like how I do it around. So if we take a look at my food budget, I have 3 categories for it, and there's coffee, groceries, and dining out. I honestly haven't really been in that much of a groceries kick. You'll see in my October recap video, I didn't spend a lot of money on groceries in comparison to anyone, including myself, that spends money on groceries. So I'm kind of wondering if I should maybe just pull all of these together. I think it's $375 a month, maybe round it up to $400 a month, and just seeing like making that my food category and then seeing if that works better for me and just having the money come out of there instead of creating more of an arbitrary stress on my food spending and like thinking I'm not eating at home enough or anything like that. Just something I've been thinking about. I think I might still try it this way in November and then see in December what I want to do. So that's what I've been thinking about as far as food spending goes. I have also thought about just doing it where I create the categories on a weekly basis. Like there's an option to do this for, I believe, needed for spending on here. Like you can do it weekly. So maybe that's something I should consider as well, because I do worry if I just make one big food category that I might overspend at the beginning of the month and not have enough money at the end of the month. So just something I've been thinking about. If you have suggestions on that, let me know in the comments below. Going into the month of November, I am in basically holiday prep mode. Thanksgiving is this month in the United States. Typically for Thanksgiving, my mom likes to do a semi-catered meal. These past few years now, we've been like kind of catering Thanksgiving and then doing a more home-cooked meal for Christmas. I think we're going to continue doing this for this year, perhaps even more so than the past, given my mom's medical issues. I don't pay for the catering, my mom does, but I usually like to make a few side dishes, so I'm hoping that'll just be like $75 to $100. And I'm thinking that'll probably most likely just come out of my Christmas category, and I can just rename it to holidays. For Christmas, I'll probably start buying Christmas gifts in the month of November. I'm trying to keep it more simple this year and just not really focus on the gift giving of it all, because my dad's side, he's decided no gifts this year, so that will obviously save some money and just be more like spending time with each other. On my mom's, I usually just have my mom, my brother and sister, my nephew, and we usually do like a Secret Santa sort of gift. And then for like friends, I will probably be focusing more on baked goods, and yeah, so that's probably going to see some spending in that this month. Since I budget ahead, I already have all of the money that I need for Christmas, so I'm not too worried about that. I just thought it'd be a good idea to mention what's actually going on in the month of November for me. Aside from that, there's really not much happening. I feel like October was a really busy month, so November, as far as like personal things that I want to do, is pretty low stakes aside from, the holiday. Okay. All that to be said, let's go ahead and get into the budget with me. So I do want to mention I use the budgeting software YNAB Budget, or YNAB. I have been using it for over a year now. It's something I really enjoy using. So if you do want to try it out, there is a link in the comments below for a 34-day free trial. So feel free to take a look at that. And then as far as like my budgeting philosophy goes, I do like to budget at least a month in advance. So if we take a look at my November budget, I do have a monthly, I have like a monthly spending target for each goal. and savings category. So I've already covered everything for the month of November, and I can see in the auto assign section that I'm underfunded by $0. So what that means is I'm going to go ahead and go into the month of December. And then in December, first thing I like to do with every paycheck that I get is to budget for rent and water. I like to budget half of what I need every single paycheck. It just helps me stay on track with that. So I needed for $16.50 for the month of December, and that is now covered. Since I am budgeting 2 paychecks from work, since I missed the last video basically, I'm going to go ahead and go into the month of January and budget for $16.50 as well to make sure I am keeping money for that. And then let's see, I have $2,434.46 remaining. I'm going to go back into December because I am underfunded, and sometimes I like to go through and click through all of these and fund them, but I'm actually just going to use the auto assign symbol and click the underfunded, and it's going to tell me what categories I'm funding. So my food categories, my household, my therapy, my Roth IRA, and like fund money. So I'll click assign money, and now that lowered my ready to assign, but everything in December is covered. And then going back into the month of January, since I'm no longer focused on covering December's expenses, I can focus on January. I don't want to get too far ahead. I feel like I say this every video, but I do have like more money than I'm used to budgeting at once. So I want to make sure I'm not forgetting about January when I would normally budget this as I get paid, if that makes sense. So let's take a look here. And I'm going to go ahead and fund things that have a monthly bill attached with them. So electric, gas, internet, phone, transportation. I know that I'm going to get gas in the month of January. Subscriptions is a good one for that. And maybe the Roth IRA, because I do an automatic withdrawal to that account. So I clicked underfunded for that. And now I'm at $1,041.33. And for this, I'm just going to get myself underfunded down to $1,000. So let's just go ahead and put it in the auto insurance. I think it was, how much was it? $41.33. So I'm just going to do that for now and be underfunded by $1,000 for that. I have $1,322 remaining. So let's see. I'm checking my notes here to see where I want to put this money and just make sure that I'm on top of everything. Just taking a look here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back into the month of October. For October, I need to budget or put money aside to my future house down payment category. I'm going to do $250 for now, so $125 from each paycheck from my full-time job. That's how I'm thinking of it in my head. So I'm down to $1,072.09. Let's take a look here. I'm going to put $40 into my gift category. I like to budget these things in the month that I'm putting it into as far as like my focus on now categories. So I'm still in the month of October for like the next day. So I'm going to put that there. So now I'm down to $1,032.09, and let's put the $32.09 kind of like round, take that off the top and put it in my Roth IRA. I'm just going to do Control F and find it that way. $32.09. So I'm left with $1,000. I feel like I'm missing something. Oh, okay. So my future moving fund. I know that my next place is not going to be like my house because I don't have the money for that by the time my lease ends. But I'm going to moving in with my boyfriend when my lease ends. So I'm just putting money aside from like each paycheck to make sure I am covering that, and I don't really have a set amount each time. So let's do $100 this time. So now I'm down to $900, and let me take a look here. I feel like I'm missing something still. Just taking a look at my notes. I put 100 in. I don't know. Maybe it'll come out in the wash. I just feel like I'm missing something that I wanted to put money into before I move on to like other goals. I think it was, let's do the January wellness category. And I'm going into January specifically for my spin studio. I'm just trying to be more ahead on those. So that's why I want to do that now, since everything leading up to it is covered. So I think I need 107 for that. So now I'm down to 793. And if I click on this recent moves, I can see what I've done so far. So I did 487.54 in the month of January. And then if I take a look here at these numbers, I'm just thinking out loud here. I think I got it right. Yes. So I took money, I put it in December rent, January rent. I covered December, I covered part of January, put money in the house down payment, put $40 into the gift for my sister's licensure test, and I just did 100 into the future moving and 107 into wellness. Okay, we'll just keep going. And I think I did the 3209 into the Roth, didn't I? Okay, cool. So how about I put another $250 into the house, since I do have more money than I normally do. I'm thinking that's right. Yeah, let's try that and see how I like that. So we're down to 543. Let's do, I'm just like, maybe my math is just wrong. That can happen. I think that's actually what it is now that I'm looking at my notes. Okay, that's fine. So let's do one. What do I want to do? Maybe $143 into the Roth IRA again, just to make sure I can get more money into there. So there's that. And then there's $400. Let's look at the focus on now category. And I want to put 89.19 into this category. So that's funded for my haircut in December. And the reason why I can put the money into October is that the money will just roll over month to month until January, where I can actually just pay the haircut then. So I'm basically using what's called a digital envelope system to set money aside for future spending, is how I like to think of it. So I'm saving the money now for future spending. So I have $310.81 remaining. How about I go into my 3-year anniversary category? So new category just dropped. It's technically my vacation category, just renamed. In March, it'll be my 3-year anniversary with my boyfriend. I want us to actually go on a vacation that doesn't have a disaster strike right before it, or just something terrible happen, or a pandemic, who knows. But I would like us to go somewhere, at least for a weekend. We've thought of a few different things. So I just want to make sure I'm putting money aside for that now, so I'm ready for something either in March or after that if we need to just wait a little bit. So let's do 150. And then let's put another $10 into the gift category. That's what I'm thinking. It's just so I can get more ahead on my sister's licensure test, so she's ready for that. And I talked previously in a different video about why I'm doing that. And then I have 150.81 remaining. I want to put money into my health, beauty, and clothing category. As you can tell, I've been just going hard at this category, but I'm going to put 50 in there. I think, don't quote me on this if I spend hundreds of dollars in the month of November on clothes and stuff, but I'm pretty sure I have everything I probably need for a while, as far as clothing, as far as beauty, as far as health. But I think I have like one thing I need to buy, like a moisturizer, but that's not going to cost a lot of money. So I'll just set aside $50 for this and see how that goes. And then finally, I have 181 remaining. I think I'm just going to put 81 more dollars. Where is it at? Into, or not 81 more dollars, 81 cents into the 3-year anniversary. And then I'll take the final $100 and put it in a new category that may or may not be a holding category for now, which is hobbies. I don't really have a hobby besides the ones I already have, but I would not mind having money available for if I want to try out new things, like maybe an art class or something. So $100 in there, and that's it. I have assigned all of the money. Yes, I never know like what to say once I'm finally done, but I think November is going to be a good month. I think things are starting to look up and turn up, and I think it's going to be a very exciting time the rest of the year, just seeing where life takes me and what happens. And I'm feeling pretty optimistic lately as far as like my outlook in budgeting and life is going. So that is exciting to me. If you like this video, feel free to like it. It really helps out my channel. Comment down below how the month of November is going to go for you, or just tell me whatever you want to talk about, because I will talk about pretty much anything in the comments. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.